So we are going to start with prayer. So as you are able, could you please stand? For St. Anne's first graduation day in 2003, the 7th and 8th grade worked together to write a prayer for graduation that has been used ever since. Please pray with me. The Lord be with you. Gracious God, we thank you for all the days you have given us. Thank you for watching over us. Thank you for the closely knit community in this school and for the relationships made here this year. Thank you for giving us love for each other and good times together. Thank you for our friends, our trust in one another, and our diversity. Thank you for providing St. Anne's with a great faculty for helping everyone get through their academic challenges, and for the guidance and love of families and friends which have brought us to this day. God, please forgive us all for the mistakes we have made this year. Forgive us for our unkind words. Please help us to do what is right and strive to do our best. Help us go into the future with a good sense of responsibility, loyalty, trust, and respect. Help us to make a difference in the world. Lord, your heart is open to us. Let our hearts be open to others. Walk with us now and evermore, and help us know that, like the love of this school, you are with us forever. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, come on. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning, and you're going to have to give me a little more than that. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This is a wonderful day. This is a wonderful day. We should all feel great. The sun is shining. We all got up this morning. This is fantastic. And I know just short weeks ago, you guys were not picturing that this was something that was going to actually take place. So I think it's fantastic that we are here. Thank you for your words, Chaplain Hannah. I wanted to just welcome our faculty, trustees, alumni, parents, family, and friends to the 18th graduation ceremony, commencement ceremony for St. Anne's Episcopal School. That is worthy of a round of applause. We're going to take a few moments and we're going to celebrate all that this class of 2020 has brought to our St. Anne's Episcopal School. The learning, the growth, everything that has taken place from the time that they stepped onto this campus to this very day. So later when you receive your diplomas, we're going to have you share a few words. We think it's important to hear what you guys think about your time here at St. Anne's. But right now what I want to do is just take a little bit of a walk back. And so parents and friends, I want to ask you if you please hold your applause until the end. So 7 of you began in pre-K back in 2010. For those of you that began in pre-K in 2010, please stand and remain standing. Okay. Next, for those of you who came in kindergarten, please stand and remain standing. For those who entered in grades 1 through 4, please stand and remain standing. And now for those who entered in grades 5 through 8, please stand and remain standing. Now you can give these folks a round of applause. We want to thank you for all that you've done for the school, for all you've done for this community. You have brought the life to the building. You have carried us through, and we really appreciate that. And we want to make sure that you know that we appreciate you for all the things that you've done. You can have a seat. So now I have something written in here in capital letters, and it's because I've had a number of parents that have told me that I need to make sure to do this, and it says, "Be brief." And so I'm going to make sure that I do that. But I do have some words that I want to share. I've shared this story with some faculty, and I think it's appropriate for us today. John Doe Chase Chen told me about La Silla the chair at a workshop I attended some time ago. He sat a chair in the center of a circle, and he said that there's someone sitting in this chair, someone very special to you, and who may have had a lot to do with you being here. As we look at the chairs that folks have brought and put in the center of their areas, and even if you don't have a chair that's there, I want you to think about who is the person that you have in that chair. Who is that person that has a lot to do with you being here? Who is that person that could not be here right now? And I want to ask you to take a moment and think about that person. For me, it's pretty much always the same person. You know, I think about whose shoulders am I standing on in order to be here. And for me, my mom is the first person that comes to mind, but there's so many others. But I still make sure that I acknowledge her as I do any of these things, as I speak to you as we go through our days. And so I want you to take a moment, and I'll be quiet, and I want you to think about who is the person or persons that sits in that chair for you, parents as well. Have you connected with them? Have you? Can you feel that? Can you feel their presence there with you? Okay. Just as St. Anne's graduates before you are clearing a path, so shall you for our younger herons. For example, just a few short 4 years ago, the class of 2016 graduates were sitting exactly where you're sitting. They are now headed to places like Bucknell, Notre Dame, Wake Forest, Princeton, Swarthmore, Elon, Michigan, Penn State, and many other places. They are loaded with confidence, and they are ready to change the world. They have gotten the same foundation that you have gotten. To me, I look at them in many ways as your ancestors. I look at them as those folks that you talk about and that you've seen, and that when they were here 4 years ago, you just imagine what it's going to be like to be kind of like those folks. They're going on and doing great things, just as you will. Next year, this talented group before us will be heading to 11 different schools. We know that you are ready to excel and to take with you the values, ethics, and self-confidence to impact your new schools. They will be fortunate to have you, just as we have been. Your education has never been more important than it is now. You don't have to look very far to understand that the role that you guys will play in making and hoping to right the ship in our communities is going to be very, very important. Our mission speaks to your potential for good in local and world communities. The St. Anne's faculty, staff, and administration know that you're capable, and we are proud of you. I come from a large family, and when my family would gather, at the end of our gathering, and when we were getting ready to go our own ways, my father would always have a prayer. And in that prayer, he would always say the same thing. He would say that he would pray for the protection from seen and unseen dangers as we moved out on our own journeys. He would pray for traveling mercy over highways and byways as we continued on our journeys. And that is my prayer for you. As you move forward into all of the different directions that you're going to be going, I hope that you have traveling mercy. I hope that you are covered from seen and unseen dangers. I know that you have the strength. I know that you have the self-confidence in order to be successful in whatever it is that you choose moving forward. And I also know that the schools that you will be going to are thrilled to have you, and you're going to do magic in those communities. Thank you. So it's now my pleasure to turn this over to Ms. Ana Ramirez, the President of the Board of Trustees.
Good morning, everybody. Dear class of 2020, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, let me start by saying congratulations. Congratulations on achieving this momentous milestone in your lives. The many school communities you are joining next year are incredibly lucky to have you as their students. I know that I don't say this without any evidence. I personally have seen you engage in Spanish class with Mrs. Duffy when I have come there as a visitor. And you've asked me many questions about me and my family and my country. When you were in the 6th grade, I visited you in your language arts class, and I was simply amazed at the detail of critical thinking and analysis that you were doing at such young age. I admire your eloquence in your science presentations and in Culture Day. You have inspired us with your artistic and your creative work. You have worked hard to get here today, and this is why we are celebrating you. There's no denial that the last 2 months to this crossing line have been quite unique and unexpected and unimaginable. Yet I would argue that they have been also in unexpectedly and unimaginably positive ways, regardless of difficult circumstances. I refuse to define the class of 2020 as the class who lost their final spring traditions and time with friends. I refuse to define the class of 2020 as the class who lost their final sports season, the class that missed their last dance, their last trip. Of course, these are important moments that you do not get to experience, but you're far from the class who lost. On the contrary, you are the first class who ever won earlier than any other classes in the history of the school the opportunity to realize and to put into practice outside the gates of this beautiful campus of St. Anne's your education and values in ways that no other class has ever done before. In the midst of this tragic pandemic that has carried with it so much pain, fear, death, and destabilization, you have shown resilience, initiative, problem solving, and service to others. These herons are true signs of leadership. You wrote letters to support, inspire, and thanks to the many health workers and other heroes of this pandemic. I know you made or collected food for those in economic peril. You made and distributed masks to those who needed protection. You share your savings with nonprofit organizations. You helped in small and large ways at home during this quarantine. You help others who struggle during their remote learning. You wrote and signed petitions demanding justice and equity. Although we have never known this present as we do, you step into it, confident that the values of kindness, respect, and empathy are not vague and vacant words, but full of life, possibility, and transformation, only realized by your action. When we live in moments of normalcy, it is easy to take our life and education for granted. However, the pandemic, dislocation, and injustice of today have made you recognize sooner than usual, in very real ways, that these truly matter and that you play an important role in shaping the world. Memorize that to your heart and use your skills of collaboration, communication, and problem solving to be the generation that made change, the generation that won. In 2005, author and Nobel laureate Toni Morrison wrote the libretto for Margaret Garner, an opera based on the true story she used for her novel Beloved. In an interview, Morrison described the opera, which is based on a series of tragic events, in the following way. It's a kind, and I quote, it's a kind of restoration, redemption, and when you leave, you know more, you feel more, and you feel more deeply. Somehow, you are more human than you were, or you feel more human, more humane, more capable than you did when you came in, end quote. Your St. Anne's experience has shaped you to endure and rise throughout this critical time. And you have begun to set standards together of a more humane world. Continue to work together and remember that the love and the kindness and the knowledge and the challenge that your St. Anne's teachers and parents have given you are the foundation and the tools to achieve the world and life that you envision. Class of 2020, You make us proud, you give us hope, and you inspire us. Along with the class of 2020, we're also congratulating two incredible board members of our school, Bill Brownlee and Priya Dixit Patel. Together, they have served the school for many years. Mr. Brownlee was among the first to envision the possibility of St. Anne's, and whose championing efforts of fundraising helped make our school a reality. He also worked incredibly hard in our first capital campaign, as did Dr. Priya Dixit Patel. Dr. Dixit Patel's unwavering love for St. Anne's has led her to be a passionate advocate and ambassador for our school, as well as in her work in the strategic plan for the future of St. Anne's. And most currently in advising Mr. Davis in health and safety protocols in the midst of the pandemic. We want to thank them for their generosity, their service, and their commitment to St. Anne's. So if I can have you all please join me in applauding all of these wonderful class of 2020 students and board members. Thank you very much.
As I mentioned earlier, I think it's important for our students to be able to have an opportunity to share some of their thoughts about school, about their peers, and so we wanted to do that at this time. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Riley.
Hello. My name is, well, you know my name. My name is Jaron Polk, and now it's been 3 years. I can say that my hunch from the beginning was right about this school. This place was different than most. The staff and teachers have been the best I've ever had, with them helping me not just with my academics, but with the real-life stresses I was going through at the time. I have no idea what I would have done without the care and support of the teachers around me. I feel fully prepared for the next level because of the work you have done, teachers, and my gratitude can't be explained with words. I will miss being a student here, but I know I'm prepared to move on. I don't think of this as a goodbye, but as a see you later. So, to the class of 2021, work your hardest and never give up. To the teachers, don't lose faith, because if you can deal with me, then you can take on anybody. And to my peers, I hope to stay connected, because the friendships made shouldn't be broken just because we're graduating. The time here has been amazing, but it's time for the class of 2020 to leave. Wish us luck.
Hi, my name is Emmy Getz. When I think of my short, shy, and clueless 6th grade self walking into St. Anne's for the first time, I'm overcome with gratitude for how this school has shaped me as a person through the years. 3 years ago, if you asked me to write 3 words to describe me, I wouldn't know what to say. I was a shy person and didn't know much about myself. 3 years ago doesn't sound like a lot, at least not to me. So the fact that I've learned so much about myself in merely that amount of time goes to show how spectacular the community at St. Anne's is. If there was one word to describe what I gained from my years in middle school, it would be confidence. Confidence that failure is okay. Confidence to go out of my comfort zone. Confidence to extend a hand to new people. Confidence to try new things. Confidence to meet new people. Confidence in being myself. This boost of confidence was not possible without the support of the community at St. Anne's.
During the 3 years that I've been at St. Anne's, I've learned so much that I wish I had known when I was younger. First, I learned that being the worst at something can actually be the best, and that being bad at something can be the perfect catalyst for discovering a new passion. Secondly, I realized that learning can be fun. I know it's super corny, but it's true. St. Anne's allows you to have great friendships with your teachers, which is very important when trying to learn in class. Being friends with a teacher and having fun in the class is half the battle, especially when the topic of your learning is pretty tricky. Finally, slow down and enjoy your time here. Middle school goes by fast, and you don't want to miss a single second of it.
Hello everybody, my name is Ruhan Patel, and I've always loved sports growing up, and I eagerly waited for 6th grade to finally play on a team with my friends. Playing different sports here has taught me many valuable lessons. Mr. Thayer would always told the soccer team to win with grace and lose with dignity. This has always stayed with me, and not just in sports, but in all aspects of life. I've played on many sports teams throughout my life. However, my favorite season was the lacrosse team during my 6th grade year. People may not understand why this is my favorite because we only won one game the entire season. The majority of the team was 6th graders, and our first game of the season was a rough one. We lost 17-0 to a school that had many tall 8th graders. Although they were very tall, we did not back down. Our coach didn't let us lose heart, and we worked hard all season and not letting the losses bring us down. The last game of the season, we were so motivated, and as soon as we were dismissed from class, we charged to the field. After the hard work and all the losses, we came together as a team and we won the game. Thank you.
So I'm Morgan. When I was writing this, I came to the somewhat startling realization that I don't really remember my first day at St. Anne's, even though it was less than 3 years ago. I kind of remember my shadow day in 5th grade when I somehow managed to get lost trying to find the art room, but my first day of 6th grade doesn't really stand out in my memory. While I'm not at all shocked by my unexceptional memory, I am surprised at just how much I truly enjoyed my time spent at this school. I think that I'm lucky I came to St. Anne's. I met amazing people who became amazing friends. I learned from teachers who challenged me to always do my best. I learned to step out of my comfort zone, whether that's becoming a better leader on the field or giving a speech about the true villain of The Wizard of Oz. I can't say what memories will hold strong in my mind, as seemingly unforgettable moments like the first day of school can often be forgotten, but I can say with certainty that St. Anne's has made me a better person, and for that I will always be grateful.
Hello, I'm Cyrus, and, well, I thought I could leave St. Anne's without getting emotional. Boy, was I wrong. I've come to realize that I've just had too many impactful and life-changing experiences to walk out of this school indifferent. Every week during quarantine came closer to this day. Every week it hit me harder and harder. Every time I would sit down to start writing, I would get emotional and stop. Every word I wrote was another slap to the face and another snap back to reality. Every word made me realize that after I graduate, my St. Anne's career is over. And to be honest, every memory would take up at least 2 pages to fully tell. Every teacher has left their mark on me and my character. Every student has been there for me and been a great friend. Every experience has changed me as a person. And every single day at this school has been a new window of opportunities. Today is my last day here as a student. Wow, I just said that. There's just one last thing I need to say, and that is thank you.
Hi, I'm Brianna Diddy. In Beyonce's song, I Was Here, she sang, I was here. I lived, I loved. I was here. I've done everything I've wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone can see. I think that this quote really sums up the time my class and I have spent here at this school. Whether it be 1 or 10 years, we have all been able to have the great time we had and are better people because of our experiences here at St. Anne's. Though I was only 4 and don't remember any specifics, I do remember walking into the classroom on my first day of school and seeing all of the smiling faces of the friends I would soon make. From that day on, every day of school has been the same, with everyone having the biggest and most welcoming smiles on their faces.
Overall, St. Anne's has been a much more major chapter in my academic journey than I originally thought it was going to be. I just came here at the beginning of this year for 8th grade, but it feels like I've been here a lot longer than that. It hasn't been an easy journey, but it has been a very important one for me, and I'm sure I'll look back on it and remember it as a unique and special experience.
Hi, I'm Sarah Cook, and for years I've daydreamed about what it would be like to be an 8th grader. Passing an 8th grader in the hall and thinking, wow, that's going to be me someday. Or, nah, that's a long time ahead. Which has made me realize how much of the time I've taken for granted. I truly can't believe that it's been this long. In conclusion, I will carry the memories from St. Anne's with me for the rest of my life. Along with all the lessons I've learned, I can now reflect on the memories from 5th and 6th grade and think to myself, wow, all those years went by deceivingly fast.
Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew Tiberi. Throughout my journey at St. Anne's, I've gained many memories, learned many things, and most of all, I've become a better person. From my first day in St. Anne's in 5th grade until now in 8th grade, I feel St. Anne's has changed me for the better. St. Anne's has prepared me and my peers for great futures as we go into high school, and my wish for my peers and the faculty, staff, coaches, and everyone that helped me in my experience at St. Anne's is a success and well-being as we part ways.
Hello, I'm Jay Walsh. I've been at St. Anne's for 9 years. I can't believe I'm graduating. Even the thought makes me feel sad about it. But we all have to graduate sometime in our lives. But the thing about graduation is what feels like the end is often the start of something new. So everyone wonders how they would be remembered after they graduate. You could be remembered as an Eagles fan, a soccer player, or a science fair winner. But the secret about being remembered is by not allowing your peers to choose for you. So my advice to my peers is you should So my advice to my peers is that this is the part where you find out who you are. And thank you all for being part of my journey. And I'd also like to say thank you to Google and the person who made copy and paste, because how would any of us have made it through middle school without them?
I'm Emily Cummins. When asked about what stands out when thinking of St. Anne's, many people would say the red doors. Although those doors are a staple of the school, I don't think of them first. Instead, I think about all the people I've met at St. Anne's, the friendships I've made, and the memories of all the amazing experiences I've had here. I also think about the classrooms. Each classroom feels as if it has its own personality. In addition to that, I'm also reminded of the campus, the sports field, the circle, the woods, the outdoor chapel, the lake, and so many more places across this beautiful campus. The red doors that welcome you to St. Anne's make an incredible first impression, but it's everything inside of those doors, the classrooms, the people, the experiences, and the memories that make St. Anne's truly amazing.
Hi, my name is Tristan Kalu. The truth is, my time at St. Anne's has not been all sunshine and rainbows. It has been a challenging and confusing time, not only for me, but the whole world, especially during this last stretch of my middle school career. My peers and I have been through many obstacles and many, many teachers. Most kids, when put in these situations, would rebel and act out. Instead, we chose to band together and embrace the gift that St. Anne's provides, community. A community built on principles of respect, responsibility, and compassion. These pillars stand strong and tall, lifting us up even when we fall. Please remember these lessons as we march forwards into the unknown. Thank you.
I'm Gibby. I can't really express how fast my middle school years passed, and here I am, graduating from St. Anne's at the end of my 10th year. Throughout my time, I've made friendships that'll last my whole life. I've grown as a student, an individual, an athlete, and about 3 feet. One of the major lessons, though, that I've learned is you have to cherish your time. I feel like it was my first day of first grade yesterday. And I encourage everyone to live in the moment and do your best to cherish your time.
Hello everyone, I'm Jade. When my all blue Nike shoes touched St. Anne's ground, I learned what it was like to be a part of a school like this. I learned so many wise things that I want everyone to take home with them. For example, I have learned to treat others like you would like to be treated, the difference of showing empathy and sympathy, different ways to provide for our community, and to not put Kraft mac and cheese in the microwave without water. So many great things were taught to me from every teacher I had, from Miss Kaminsky all the way to Senora Carl's homeroom. Is this really goodbye? All of my classmates have given me so much joy throughout my life at St. Anne's. They welcomed the same little boy with his blue Nikes every year. They gave him a big grin, played with him. We sat on our backpacks and we laughed together. I can hear it now. Our laughter filled all the classrooms. It is really hard for me to say goodbye to you guys, but I must remember, goodbyes are not forever, or not the end. It simply means I'll miss you until we meet again. This is the best birthday gift I could ever ask.
As we prepare to have our students come up to receive their diplomas, you can look into your programs and you'll see there passages that have been written about each student that were shared from faculty members, folks that have had them for a number of years. And so we wanted those to be in there for you so that your program can also be something that you can have as a keepsake. As our students come up, I will call their name and they'll come up and receive their diploma. Brianna Lane Diddy. Bree has been involved in nearly everything at this school throughout middle school, including multiple sports, chorus, instrumental, chapel council, student council, and Spanish club, as well as helping with the play this year. She is self-motivated, energetic, has an outgoing personality, and is a driven student athlete. Bree represents St. Anne's spirit at its finest, a community member who respects everyone. Brianna Lane Diddy. Zoe B. Hansel. Zoe is a dedicated student and engaged in lots of activities at St. Anne's. She served as the president of the school's first Spanish club and was a leader on the chapel council. Zoe is a talented artist, singer, and actress, including a terrific performance this year as Mrs. Fox in the middle school play Fantastic Mr. Fox. Wise and mature beyond her years, she models compassion toward other people in our world and for our planet. Zoe B. Hansel. Cyrus Meyer. Cyrus, aside from wearing wonderful suits, is a thoughtful and great with younger kids. He's been a great role model for younger kids. Cyrus had them play had them play the rest of us in stitches in his role as Bogus during the middle school play, Fantastic Mr. Fox. It is not unusual to see him over at St. Andrews with all of the other faculty kids leading pickup games of tag or racing scooters around the circle. He loves to have conversations with his teachers about everything, class-related or otherwise. Cyrus has a really big interest in music and has been working on his guitar skills over distance learning. Cyrus Meyer. Ruhan Devansh Patel. Ruhan is a passionate leader in everything he does, academics, sports, or in his role as middle school vice president this school year. A big Philadelphia 76ers fan, Ruhan puts a lot of effort into being a part of the St. Anne's community. He spearheaded the plan to host a Heron 5K run on campus this spring. Hopefully it will happen next year. A truly supportive student, he has made each class better by combining his intellectual curiosity and a sense of positivity and willingness to engage in any topic or issue. Ruhan Devansh Patel. Jacob C. B. Walsh. Jay is seriously interested in military history and has many details and stories that he likes to share with the class. He completed an impressive science fair project this year on the types of water filters that earned him a top 4 spot in the science fair. He is an active participant in class discussions, not afraid to share his thoughts and opinions, which are often deeply researched. He is a huge lacrosse fan and quite a talented player. As a Star Wars and Marvel aficionado, he showed up for a recent Google meeting wearing a Darth Vader mask. It was great. He also has been skateboarding in his free time during distance learning. Jacob C.B. Walsh. Advisor? Carol. Oh, she.
Senor Caro?
Yeah. Sarah Cook. Sarah consistently puts in her best effort. She has a lot of practical and outdoorsy skills and enjoys sharing stories with others. She has been cooking up a storm during the virtual grill and chill sessions. She always produced very interesting science fair projects, including one using a game camera to examine such things as which foods are preferred by deer. and another focusing on the impact of yoga on flexibility. Sarah Cook. Audrey S. Arion, a true natural artist who could envision her artistic design and create stellar artwork. Audrey has created some of the coolest projects this year with her artistic talent, including all the costume designs and many of the set designs for the middle school play Fantastic Mr. Fox. She also manages to combine her love of art with her academics, regardless of the subject area. For example, during distance learning, she invested significant time and effort at home to create a model of a glacier moving to demonstrate erosion. The final product was impressive. Audrey is not only a discerning artist, but also a discerning young lady. She is a critical thinker, intellectual, who is always willing to share her ideas and opinions respectfully with her class. Audrey S. Arion. Jade English Fisher. Jade loves to perform and entertain. He has jumped at nearly every opportunity to sing during concerts and had a memorable performance as Mr. Fox this year. The same passion for entertaining translates into his projects as well, including a rap song about Beethoven this spring and an engaging current event report during distance learning, as well as his rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Jade was a member of the Student Diversity and Student Council this year. Jade English Fisher. Tyler D. Getz. Tyler often reminds us of a ball of energy, seemingly always on the move. He is a gifted athlete and shared his substantial talents on the soccer field and basketball courts, as well as playing recess soccer, football, or basketball. He has a lot of creative ideas to share during classes and has always been willing to commit and put forth effort in the artistic assignments in class. Tyler has a good sense of humor and unending energy. He is fun-loving, hard-working, and enjoys having fun while he works. Tyler D. Getz. Gibson Gardner Hurt. As Student Council co-president this year, Gibby was 50% of a pairing that created a unique, fun, and cooperative council. He is passionate about soccer, history, and music, and has many talents in all three areas. He is genuinely funny and quite clever with his jokes. Gibby is extremely quick-witted and is a happy, joyful person to be around. He has an expansive frame of reference and deep pool of prior knowledge that allows him to make insightful connections. Gibson Gardner Hurt. Corey Elliott Smallwood. Corey has a really kind heart and loves to have fun. He was a dedicated cross-country runner throughout his middle school years and really became a leader on the team during this 8th grade season, culminating in being awarded the Heron Award. Corey's dedication to ensuring the American flag is put up and taken down each day was deeply appreciated. He is also recognized as a student who is thoughtful toward his teachers, whether helping Miss Bromley with her bags or saying goodbye and thank you at the end of every day. Corey Elliott Smallwood. Okay, Mrs. Sherman. Okay. Hope Elizabeth Applegate. Hope is a talented and dedicated art student with future aspirations in fashion design. She is known to have created many designs in sketchbooks this year. She was a driving force in the Student Council this year, helping to lead decoration committee sessions and create fun, intimate spaces for middle school parties. Hope is a huge Disney and Marvel movie fan and an accomplished athlete and stellar student. Hope Elizabeth Applegate. Emily Elizabeth Cummins. Emmy is driven and focused to do her very best in everything she does and is exceptionally diligent and motivated on the field and in the classroom. She goes above and beyond in all of her assignments and is interested in weather and newscasting. She is the winner of her section's fantasy geopolitics game this year. She's a critical thinker, known to ask thought-provoking questions. Emmy is very empathetic and is seen as a role model and friend to younger girls. Emmy Elizabeth Cummins. Sathya Samuel DeWolf. Sam is a kind and grounded young man in all things, inside and outside of the classroom. He is passionate about Rubik's Cubes and is a gifted puzzle solver, seemingly able to decipher any type in a blink of an eye, and has also worked his love of Rubik's Cubes into assignments during distance learning. Sam is also very environmentally conscious and active in finding ways to take care of the earth. A member of St. Anne's cross-country team, Sam is a consistent and driven runner. Sathya Samuel DeWolf. Robert Joseph Eckenrode. Robbie is a thoughtful and caring classmate to his peers. We appreciate his quiet demeanor and his quiet yet well-developed sense of humor. Listen closely and you'll catch some really funny jokes. He kept Mr. Brown endlessly entertained during Dungeons and Dragons elective. He's also a big Nintendo video game fan and a recess soccer enthusiast. Robbie Eckenrode. Tristan Kalu. Listening to Tristan play the violin is such a treat. The intensity of his concentration and the excitement with which he shares his love of the violin with all of the kids and students in the science fair was something we will all remember. On a lighter note, Tristan's rendition of Beam in the middle school play this year still has us all laughing. He's a soccer enthusiast and leader on the pitch, and he brought the same enthusiasm and dedication into his work on the Student Council Executive Board. He cares deeply about the treatment of people throughout the world. His written work and explanations show a thoughtfulness and understanding of the complexity of situations. Tristan Kalu. Rebecca Munda. Rebecca is a social being as well as a very intellectual being. She loves to engage with her classmates and peers throughout middle school, always up on the latest social media trends. Becky also really likes to entertain and is constantly singing and dancing during break, study hall, and as part of the middle school play this year. She has made many strides in the classroom as well and puts her personality into her projects. Rebecca Munda. Finn O'Connell. New to St. Anne's in 8th grade this year, it didn't take Finn long to share his interests, talents, and curiosity with the middle school community in several ways. With a wealth of general knowledge and experiences, he easily engages in deep intellectual conversations and always finds joy in learning new things. His teachers love seeing his aha moments. With an active imagination, a creative brain, and a desire to share his passion for Dungeons and Dragons, he led 2 elective sessions this year, which were enjoyed by many of his peers and younger middle school students. His creativity also emerges in his eloquent writing, impactful contributions to class discussions, and his quiet sense of humor. Finn O'Connell. Logan Armour. Logan is a good big brother to Izzy, a patient and fun connections buddy, and a well-liked friend to younger kids. A creative thinker with a passion for Disney and Hot Wheels, he is also a sports enthusiast, whether playing soccer for St. Anne's or football during recess. He was a winner in his section's fantasy geopolitics game this year as well. Logan Armour. Elsbeth Daly. Elsbeth is humble about her abilities, but has a vast array of talents. She was a dedicated teammate throughout cross-country season and a major contributor in the student council this year. She acted in the school play Fantastic Mr. Fox this year as well. She's keen on protecting the earth, sustainability issues, and science, and has often reported on current events about environmental stories and scientific connections. Elsbeth Daly. Emery K. Getz. Emmy is always up for a challenge. Academically, she always has phenomenal projects, detailed answers, and continually stretches herself by completing optional extensions. She has been a phenomenal cross-country runner during her time in middle school, taking on a leadership role this year. Her teammates really admire her, and she earned the Heron Award this fall. She has also remained a runner during distance learning and has set new personal distance records. Emmy has been a great role model and a buddy to our younger Herons, making friendship bracelets and sending notes during the quarantine. She also saw to it that the American flag was put up and taken down each day. Emery K. Getz. Morgan O. Krupnicki. Morgan is Morgan. She's no nonsense and pragmatic, but also fun and funny. Morgan's candid nature and practical sense is both refreshing and inspiring. A confident and natural leader, she has done a great job sharing co-presidential duties this year on the Student Council Executive Board. Academically, she is very strong, her mind works a million miles a minute, and she often has already made connections before the teacher is done explaining the concept. She is a hard worker, committed athlete, and an established leader. Morgan O. Krupnicki. Jaron Miles Polk. Jaron enjoys life, and his countenance and disposition bring a smile to us all. A special memory of him for many people is the sheer joy with which he played in the rough ocean on the Cape Henlopen trip this fall. He is polite, respectful, and a good friend. The mega binder that he has been using throughout this year to organize is amazing. He is a really kind-hearted and has a great understanding of world affairs. He could have a future in global political science, and his love of football and the Dallas Cowboys is legendary. Jaron Miles Polk. Andrew Salvatore Tiberi. Andrew consistently exhibits a profound level of maturity and leadership in the classroom as well as during athletics. He was the school's winner in the Geography Bee this year and qualified for the state-level competition. Every day at recess, he demonstrated that he is quite a sports fanatic, particularly in football, basketball, and his leadership on the basketball team this year was inspiring. He has a love and respect of outdoor activities like fishing and crabbing. He shared his passion for these during the science fair project presentation. Andrew Salvatore Tiberi. Zachary Michael Whitaker. A quiet and caring young man, Zach is a good friend to his classmates. He's a thoughtful big brother, a good connections buddy. Zach has a good sense of humor and loves to joke around in advisory. He has many interests and is multi-talented. The project that he created about the Tabataha Reef was one of the most creative and colorful pieces of work seen in a long time. He has been a multi-sport athlete at St. Anne's, balancing time between soccer and cross-country in the fall, and was a great chef on the overnight trip to Cape Henlopen. Zachary Michael Whitaker. I would like to ask all of our graduates to please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2020. Now I'll turn this over to Ms. Joe Riley.
Getting there, folks. Getting there. It's been lovely. You guys are making us proud. This morning, I would like to borrow some sage advice from our Catholic friends and send the class of 2020 off with a final reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus, a wisdom book included in the Catholic Bible. Like other major wisdom books, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Job, and the Song of Solomon, Ecclesiasticus contains practical and moral rules and exhortations which seem deeply appropriate for today's graduation. Let us now praise famous women and men, those that preceded us, for the Lord has given them great glory through his power from the beginning. There were those who ruled their kingdoms, Morgan Krupnicki and Zoe Hansel. Those that made names for themselves through valor, Logan Armour and Jay Walsh. And those that gave counsel, Tristan Kalu. And those with understanding, Emmy Getz and Sam DeWolf. There were leaders of the people, Andrew Tiberi, and those who loved knowledge and learning, Ruan Patel and Elsbeth Daly. And those who were wise, Hope Applegate and Gibson Hurt. And those who gave eloquent speeches, Emmy Cummings, Cyrus Meyer. There were those who were blessed to compose musical tunes, Jade Fisher, Brianna Diddy. And those that recited verses in writing, Finn O'Connell and Jaron Polk. There were men and women who were furnished with artistic ability, Audrey Arian and Rebecca Munda. And those who strove to live peaceably with others, Robbie Eckenrode and Sarah Cook. These were the merciful men and women, Zachary Whitaker, Corey Smallwood, whose righteousness will not be forgotten, Tyler Getz. I would like to now invite Forrest Brown, a member of our St. Anne's Board of Trustees and a 2007 graduate of St. Anne's, to the podium to address our new graduates.
Hello, and congratulations to the class of 2020. We're so proud of you, and I just need to say, personally, I'm so inspired by what I've just heard about you and from you. It's really amazing to see what you've done for this school. I want to talk very briefly about change, because as amazing as you are right now, you're going to change. You're going to go to high school, you're going to keep learning, you're going to keep growing, you're going to go to college, you're going to get jobs, you're going to build lives, and you're going to keep changing through all of that. St. Anne's has changed since I graduated 13 years ago out in the same circle. And every time I'm back, I'm sort of blown away at how much the school has grown and improved and is still the place that I love, but has become something even more. So we need you, as you go out into the world and keep growing and changing, to actively change the places you go. Bring St. Anne's with you, change your schools, change the world. I've spent a lot of time in the last week, I live in Washington, D.C., outside the White House, and I've been so inspired watching young people and older people out there doing what they can to change the world around the issue of institutional racism. And that is going to be one of many issues that you are going to be so important to solving in this world. You've been prepared by St. Anne's to be a change maker, to not have change happen to you, but to drive change. And so while St. Anne's is going to keep changing, we also need you to be part of that change, even as you leave the school. We need you to stay involved, keep in touch. Eventually, in a very long time, we may need you to give back a little bit financially, but also through your time, through the connections you've built. And that's what I'm here to ask of you as I induct you into the alumni body. So welcome officially to the St. Anne's alumni community. I think a lot of you have letters that you are about to receive from your parents and maybe letters to give to them. So I'm going to ask that exchange happens now, that you hand those letters to your graduates' parents. I know those letters hold all the hopes for the change that you are going to experience and are going to create in the world. I'm now going to walk you through the alumni oath. So could I ask the new graduates of St. Anne's to please stand up? I, your name, do solemnly swear to faithfully fulfill my duties as a graduate of St. Anne's. I will endeavor to earn my own place among alumni who, by their devotion to this ideal, have brought recognition and honor to their alma mater. I commit myself to the highest standards of service to my community and country. I will provide moral and intellectual support through the Alumni Association. And I will encourage others to participate in the activities and noble work of the school. Congratulations, class of 2020.
You can take a second to read your letters, so we're going to take if you want to stretch your legs, stand up. Please don't move out of your family areas, but we'll take a few minutes here to look.
As you're reading your letters, I just want to share one more quick thing. So at my graduation, we had about 200 or so kids, and we sat on one side and the parents sat on the other side. And when they called my name to go up to get my diploma, I started walking up, and out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something. It's my mother walking up also. And so when they got ready to hand me my diploma, my mom took my diploma and she went back to her seat. I don't know if that's a statement about the fact that she was really kind of surprised and making sure that they didn't try to take it back. I'm not sure, but it's just a moment that I always remember. And I thought about it as I was watching you open up and read your letters. I hope that you'll take those and you'll put them someplace special, because those are the things that you'll look back on at some point in time, and they will have such incredible power and such incredible meaning for you. So I just wanted to share that. And now I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Ryan Brown, who is going to share a charge for the class of 2020.
I'm a little nervous this morning, so as much as stuff changes, one thing remains constant, which is me being nervous in front of a microphone. This is actually from Mrs. Bromley, so I'm reading on behalf of her this morning. She would have loved to be with you guys, but obviously she's got a little bit going on right now. So Mrs. Bromley writes, "Dear class of 2020, the complexities of caring for 2 newborns while practicing safe social distancing have made it impracticable for me to be in attendance at your graduation today. Know that each of you are in my thoughts and prayers and will forever hold a special place within my heart. In honor of our chapel theme of courage, I'd like to leave you with the following words excerpted from President Teddy Roosevelt's speech, which is entitled Citizenship in a Republic. It is my hope that as you venture into the next chapter of your lives, that you do so daring greatly. Teddy Roosevelt writes, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." I'd like to invite Chaplain Hannah back to the podium.
I do need to personally thank the 5 8th graders who were valiant leaders of Chapel Council this year, and you know who you are, and also several adjunct Chapel Council members. They could not come to meetings, but if we ever said, hey, we need you to do this in Chapel, they said, woohoo, we gotcha. So 8th grade, your leadership in Chapel has been phenomenal this year. Thank you. So after this prayer, can you please stay seated for a few announcements? 8th grade, would you please stand? This prayer was written by the Chapel Council 5 years ago as a way to bless the 8th graders. Lord be with you. Almighty God, we ask you to send your Holy Spirit on our 8th grade friends. Help them to make good choices as they ascend in life. Strengthen them to be respectful, responsible, and compassionate people. Guide them in keeping their old friends and making new friends. Help them to remember this school and the students and teachers who impacted their lives. May they continue to believe in God, family, and friends. Keep them safe on their new journey. Bless them with the knowledge that we are hoping for the best for them and that they are greatly loved. Thank you, God, for our new graduates. We ask your blessing on all those gathered here in the name of the Creator and the Redeemer and our friend. Amen.
So I came here to these red doors last year. It's been a year now that I've been here, and it's been an incredibly adventurous time. One thing that I want to say is that even in the midst of all this adventure, the support that has come from the community has been really amazing. I received a call the other day from one of our parents who just called and said, I just wanted to check and see how you and your family are doing. And it was just, a random call just out of the blue. But it really spoke to who we are as a community. And that was really important to me, and the timing of it was perfect. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone in the community. I will always remember my first year. I will always remember all of you 8th graders as you move forward. I hope that you continue to come back and to see how things are going here. And actually, you don't even have to, because I'm going to come to see you where you are anyway. So it's quite all right. All right, so thank you. And now I'll turn this over for some closing announcements. Thank you.
I came to St. Anne's at the same time as the class of some of my new friends in the class that came in 5th grade, the class of 2020. So means a lot to be here with you. All right, so I feel like I should let us whoop or something, right? It's been so quiet. But because we've been in the sun for a long time, and because there's a couple other things planned to try to help our graduates have the chance to connect with each other and take it with them, I have some announcements. So thank you for being part of this celebration this morning. We're very proud of everybody and what everyone's accomplished and what you will accomplish. So there's homework. So can we just, I don't know, if I count 1, 2, 3, clap, whoops, whistle, whatever you want to do. 3, 2, 1, go.